Welcome back to Let's Play Katawa Shoujo. Man, it's one of those days where I'm just like, I can't be bothered to do anything. It's just, it's one of those days, man. It's just like, no motivation, no energy, I'm just like, But let's proceed. Well, Emmy's ill, so there's no lunch on the rooftop to keep me occupied. Lily raises an eyebrow at my statement before giving another chuckle. My poor Rin must feel left out. It's not like that. But I'm sure it isn't. Emmy tends to be the life of whatever group she's in. It's a shame to hear she's fallen ill. Will she be okay? Somehow I get the feeling that Lily's just inquiring out of politeness, but I respond anyway. Let's think so. I'm going to swing by and see how she's doing after school myself. Another raised eyebrow. My, what a noble gentleman you are, Hisao. It's nothing really, just checking up on my friend after all. So it's just friends, is it? How disappointing. I blush glad that Lily can't see it. But somehow she knows that I've been flustered by her comment anyway and laughs. I'm sorry, Hisao, I'm teasing you again. Please do tell Emmy that I hope she feels better, won't you? A glance at my watch reveals that I'm very nearly out of time to find my book. Of course. Hey, I've got to find a book before lunch is over, so I better get going. Well, moving, same thing. See you later. That was probably not the best phrase to use. Lily, however, takes my gaffe in stride. Until we meet again, Hisao. I never do find the book I was looking for, but I walk out with something else instead. My stomach growls slightly, letting me know that I should have had something for lunch. That's probably part of the reason I feel so kind of just like, I haven't really eaten anything today yet, that I can recall. Oh well, I'll grab something before I visit Emmy later. Seems as if time has decided to slow down for the express purpose of annoying the hell out of me. Class feels like it drags on for ages. Well, that tends to happen when you're, like, preoccupied with, like, something else you gotta do. Because then you're just like, come on, time, come on, because you're focusing on it too much. I suspect that my being consumed with worry probably has something to do with it. Lucidly, the bell rings and I dash out of class, drawing a few raised eyebrows, I'm sure. I have spent the majority of the day fretting as untruthfully as I could. Even though the nurse thinks that Emmy's perfectly okay, I want to see for myself. It doesn't take long to get to the girls' dormitory and make my way to Emmy's room. Standing outside her door, I suddenly pause. What if she's resting? I hate to wake her up, especially if she's still feeling ill. Then again, if she sleeps all day, then it could throw off her sleeping schedule. Oh, I know that way too much. I don't think a week goes by where my sleeping schedule goes off the rails. It'd be like, okay, I'd be awake for mornings, afternoon, and evening, and then suddenly gets completely turned upside down. It's like evenings and nights, sleep for the morning till the afternoon, and then it switches back to being awake in the mornings, afternoon, and all that. It's just such a cluster. But rest is important if you're ill, isn't it? I can't decide what to do, so I settle for standing outside the door looking like an idiot. Then I hear Emmy's voice from behind the door. Thanks for your concern, but I really am okay. Is she talking to me? I'll see you at practice tomorrow. Guess not. Still, clearly she's not asleep, so I can knock that worry. So why this clenched feeling in my gut? I wasn't nervous about dropping by the other day, so why today? Granted, I still haven't really had time to figure out this newfound interest in Emmy's well-being. I don't have a lot of experience in the matter, of course, but certainly this seems to go beyond feelings of mere friendship. But could I take that step? Could I even bring myself to risk what I have right now? I mean, it's enough to be friends with her, isn't it? By the way, shouldn't I just open the door and see how she's doing? That's why I came here, right? What if she's not dressed yet? Well, knock on the door first, then, you idiot! The image that flashes through my mind causes my heart to skip a beat, literally. I mean, what was he originally gonna do? Just open the door without, like, being like, well, actually, that's a typical thing, isn't it? It's like, I'm coming in, opens the door, doesn't wait for an answer. That's just so bloody typical. I should probably not ever think those thoughts again, only if I want to avoid a heart attack. I suddenly realize I'm still standing in the hallway looking like an idiot. Emmy still seems to be in the middle of a conversation, but I knock anyway. Hopefully she won't mind the interruption. You worry too much. Come in, the door's unlocked. So it is. Open the door and step in, which is about where my thought process comes to a grinding halt. Emmy is sitting up in bed with her head puzzled from a day spent asleep. I think this is the first time I've seen her without those familiar beads in her hair. Her gym shirt and bloomers, obviously hastily pulled on before I came in, are creased and folded from less than proper storage. Is it just me, or does she have a bit of an odd-shaped jaw here? It's not like just in the CGI, it's just in general. Her legs lay bare on the sheets. I've never seen Emmy without prosthetic legs, yet here she is, slender legs terminating in stumps just below her knees. But as odd as the sight is, I find myself more captivated by everything north of the waist. It seemed that Emmy had finished her conversation with whoever was on the phone with her and is now watching my reaction closely out of her one-open eye as she wipes sleep from the other. Her expression, far from being embarrassed, is rather one of a surprisingly wide yawn, one perhaps appropriate from such a small mouth. A grin that for a brief moment seems almost flirtatious tugs at the corner of her mouth as she takes the sight of me in. I can do nothing but remain in a state fluctuating between fear, confusion, and not a little bit of lust. Emmy quickly sweeps her hair out of her eyes, fixing it back into place before addressing me. You know, reading all that felt more like a narrator than anything else, although that would count it away. It's just like completely just like, yeah, so I'll just read this and that. Just like no character voice or anything going on. You seem a bit caught off guard, Hisao. A wave of laughter erupts from her, and I find myself grinning and rubbing the back of my head briefly. Sorry, I just... Never seen someone so disheveled look so attractive. Never seen you without your legs on. That's a weird thing to say, but never seen you look so... sorry. Emmy giggles again and moves to sit up a little straighter. I'm caught up in the movements of her shirt, very nearly losing myself. I was wondering what your reaction would be. The nurse called and told me you were going to drop by, you see. And I know you haven't seen me, well, you know, without legs. I respond in a tone of casual surprise. Oh, you don't have them on? I didn't notice. It's almost the truth, I very nearly didn't. I'm not trying to be suave or anything, mind you. Somehow I think Emmy would get offended by that. Instead, she sticks her tongue out at me and chucks the pillow at my head. Ass! I deftly catch the pillow and take careful aim before throwing. Emmy laughs and rolls to one side, dodging my shot and shifting of her shirt, distracting me enough so that the next thrown pillow hits me right between the eyes. I retaliate, of course, and once I've retaliated twice, well, a war was bound to break out sooner or later. And really, when Emmy appears to have far better aim than me, well, it's just a matter of time before I'd have to resort to a suicidal charge. Gotcha! Bam! Smack! Biff! Classic comic kind of, man, I can't think of the word. What would you call those? Sound effects. And once the charge was accomplished, well, of course, I'd have to wrestle the pillows away from her. And with that kind of struggle, of course, we'd wind up in this sort of position. And so I found myself staring down at her from my position atop her. She's grinning, eyes sparkling with amusement, maybe a little sweaty now from our tussle. Her chest is heaving up and down, sucking in air. A small bit of my brain that is not currently enraptured by the sight and smell of her observes that she must still be ill because her stamina is not what it should be. We stay that way for a while. I'm not sure how long, because everything seems to go fuzzy. Everything that isn't her, anyway. Her eyes meet mine, and deep inside when I almost catch a glimpse of... what? Fear? Longing? Nope. Emmy? A cough suddenly convulses her, and I'm almost stumbling in my haste to get off to apologize for everything. Sorry, I shouldn't have... It's fine, it's fine. She gives me a reassuring pat on the shoulder. So, what brings you here? She's still breathing hard, and that causes her voice to shake slightly. Well, before I was so rudely assaulted by pillows, I came to see how you were doing. Wham! This earns me another shove, and I very nearly fall off the bed. Emmy's eyes sparkle again, and I wonder how I never noticed how attractive they are before. Consumed with worry, were you? Her tone is mocking, haughty, teasing, but totally not, because I can't do voice acting very well, especially if it's female. She throws her arm across her forehead dramatically, a grin still apparent from underneath. Couldn't bear the thought of me laying deathly ill. As we both recover from our brief wrestling match, Emmy appears to fall back on teasing me. Well, I wouldn't say consumed with worry, but after you didn't show up this morning like a total wuss. Emmy pouts, crossing her arms frigidly and sticking her lower lip out. It's not my fault. I just wouldn't allow it. Sure he wouldn't. I completely believe you. Emmy sticks her tongue out again. You're just a jerk, Hisao. So, how was your day then, eh? Did you enjoy slacking off? Not really. The phone woke me up pretty early on. The phone? Yeah, the captain of the team called to make sure I was doing okay. Also let me know it was okay to skip practice. Good, at least she wasn't alone all day. Someone checked up on her. Although I can't help but think that it should have been me. It's just like, but. Oh, that's good. He really keeps an eye on you, huh? Emmy shrugs. It's his job. Wanting being the captain means you know where your team members are when they're not in school. Still, I guess it's nice of him to call, huh? Yep, sure was. Emmy yawns and shimmies down into a more comfortable position. So, how was your day? Kind of uneventful, you know. Went ahead and ran by myself and talked to the nurse about how you were doing. I've been through the day's events, none of which are particularly engrossing. That's when I'm distracted by an arm finding its way across my waist. It seems that Emmy fell asleep while I was talking, so I draw her blanket to cover us. Just like, Hisao, you're so boring. I fell asleep here, you talk about your boring, mundane day. The look on his face just like, how did I get in this situation? My nose is flat. Like, it feels like someone hit me in the face with a shovel. Ow. She's rolling over onto her side, and now one leg is thrown over my legs, effectively trapping me. Hey. It seems a shame to wake her, but I have things to do. I gently shake her, but in response she only tightens her arm grip on me and sighs a little. My resistance to this position crumbles rather quickly. The feeling of her body breathing steadily is both calming and incredibly stimulating at the same time. My breathing cannot decide if it wants to relax or speed up. Relaxation wins, and I find myself putting an arm around Emmy. I think I'm in love. The words slip out and hang in the air unnoticed. At least I hope they've gone unnoticed. Emmy whimpers weakly through her dream, and her grip suddenly tightens again. For the first time since I've known her, I see tears running down Emmy's face. Feels like my heart is about to break. I instinctively tighten my own grip and stroke her hair in what I hope is a soothing manner. Words of comfort, meaningless in the situation, spring to mind. Maybe I should wake her. Are you supposed to wake people having nightmares? I can't for the life of me remember. The decision is taken from me as Emmy suddenly jerks away with a cry. Dad! This is more than I think I want to hear without her knowing. I quickly sit upright and gently shake her shoulder to stir her. Hey, you okay? What a silly question. Huh? What? Hisao? She shakes her head as if to clear it, then quickly wipes her eyes. You had a nightmare, I think. Emmy shudders again and glances up at me a little cautiously, as if unsure whether or not she's actually up. Yeah, I guess so. You want to talk about it? A speedy internal debate seems to be going on in her head, which resolves itself with a shrug. Nah, I don't really remember much of it. I'm pretty sure she's lying to me, but somehow I don't think I should press the issue. Emmy shudders again and turns towards me looking a little sheepish. Sorry for falling asleep on you like that. I keep my voice as soon as I can. Hey, don't worry about it, you've been ill. No. Hey, don't worry about it, you've been ill. Yeah, I guess that cold medicine just made me a little drowsy. I guess so. Emmy does not strike me as the sort of person who'd fall asleep at the drop of a hat. Rin, maybe, but Emmy's far too energetic. Bird, you are incredibly energetic yourself with your chip, chip. Emmy gives a half smile at my response, and then, just like that, she's back to her old self. Well, prepare yourself for tomorrow morning, Hisao. We'll have to go twice as hard to make up for today. See what I mean? No, it's the same there. Notice it? It can't be just me. It's not like an intentional thing. Could be. Maybe. I'm not sure. I can't remember. But I went running this morning. No excuse. Oh, fine, I'll be ready for you. Emmy nods satisfied. Good. I take this as my cue to exit. Well, I'd better get going, especially if I want to get enough sleep for tomorrow. I hop in the bed and head for the door. Hey, Hisao. I pivot neatly on my heel and face Emmy. She opens her mouth to say something, and then in another first I see her falter slightly. She closes her mouth and opens it again. Thanks. For dropping by, I mean. You're kind of the first visitor I've had who wasn't Rin. Now that's surprising. I would figure that Emmy'd have people dropping by all the time. She's certainly popular enough, or so I thought, always talking to people in the hallways. Emmy hesitates again. And thanks for staying around after a look of pain flits across her face. You know, it helped. She brightens back up and waves cheerfully at me. See you tomorrow! Yeah, see you later. I'm just about to exit the door when something makes me turn around again. Hey, Emmy. Anytime you need to talk, let me know, okay? Emmy seems taken aback by this offer. Her grin gets even wider. Sure thing, Sal. See you in the morning. I exit Emmy's room with my head in the whirl. Should I have even left? Was she really okay? Want to turn around and march back down the hallway, open the door, and tell her I love her, tell her I think she's beautiful, tell her that I'll be there when she needs me. I want to stay with her, to hold her close as she falls back to sleep. How many nights has she woken up like that? Only to find that nobody's there. I want to be that person she can be with when that happens. It's a silly thought, I know. We don't know each other that well, do we? The whole idea, while exhilarating, also makes me feel worried. Worry perhaps that I'd overstepped my bounds. And now to add to my troubles, it seems as if Emmy herself already has an interest in someone else. This track captain of hers who seems so interested in her well-being. True, I've only seen the two of them together a few times, but that doesn't change the fact that they seem better suited to one another. There's really nothing to be done about that. I need to take my mind off this whole situation. I've got homework to do, maybe that'll distract me. Fat chance, man, you'll be thinking about it all the time. Wait, is it just me, or did it sound like the piano, took center stage on that? Or did it always take center stage like that? Because it felt like it stood out a lot more. A night of restlessness has left me feeling fairly groggy this morning. The events of the previous day keep intruding upon my mind. The memory of how Emmy felt against me. The memory of our wrestling match. Why the sad music? And most bothersome, the memory of her nightmare. Well, okay, but still. And she was in so much pain. I can't stop wondering what it must be like for her to wake up with nobody there. The shower shocks me awake with hot water, awake but still worried. What will happen today? Will things just go back to normal? And the episode back to the status quo? There was a connection yesterday, something that nearly pushed us past the boundaries of normal friendship. Would that have been so bad? My mind goes back to the look in Emmy's eyes after our pillow fight. It almost seemed like she was daring me to go on. Almost. But I can't know for sure. Anyway, the track captain's probably first in her affections. But even as I say that, my mind's already snorting derisively. I'm just looking for an excuse. A reason for everything to go wrong. A reason to not try. It's not as if I've even seen the two of them together outside of track practice. And clearly he's never visited, Emmy said as much herself. If they were close, surely he'd visit. I'm such a wuss. Well, to just go for it anyway, damn the consequences. That's what Emmy would do, I think. Hell, I know that's what she'd do. Which is partially why I'm convinced there's no interest on her hand. She hasn't acted out. Maybe because of this track captain. It's possible she's got a bit of an unrecruited crush thing going on. But who would be able to clarify the relationship? It sure as hell can't be Emmy. She'd probably just laugh and ask why I wanted to know. I'm not ready to answer that yet. Rin would probably just give me some cryptic answer or something, and then with my luck, she'd just ask Emmy who would ask me why I wanted to know, and I've already covered that problem. I wonder, would I get away with asking the nurse? He seems pretty protective of Emmy, I'm sure he'd know something if something was up. And he owes me for not letting Emmy know he forgot to tell me about her being ill, so he'll keep quiet. Well, if he asks me why I wanted to, though, I can shake him off, just say I'm curious as a friend. He'll buy that, won't he? No. Of course! That's settled then. After the run, I'll talk to him while Emmy is waiting outside the office. There's no sign of Emmy when I arrive at the track. Is she still too ill? I decide to give her 10 minutes. I'm a little early and she was ill yesterday, so if she takes a while to show up, it shouldn't be surprising. Still, I'd hate to just waste my time, so I occupy myself by stretching and pacing back and forth anxiously. What if I went too far yesterday? What if she doesn't come because she's embarrassed? What if... You're early again, Hisao! I'm impressed! Just like that, I feel some of the tension leaving my body. Emmy seems to be bright and cheerful as usual, with no sign that she even was ill the other day, much less had a less than restful sleep. Still, I have to ask. Sleep well last night? It's just a throwaway question, small talk. The sort of thing people ask someone they bump into in the cafe while getting their morning coffee. But not for us, at least not for me. I don't know if Emmy realizes I'm actually concerned about how well she slept last night, but the question does give her a pause. After a short moment of what seemed like her generally pondering this, she nods. Yep, sure did. Was it because of me? Or is she, doing the typical, not going to give detail? Did I actually help? Or are you just saying that to get me to stop asking questions? Good to hear. Emmy grins and begins warming up. So, ready to begin? Am I ready? Of course I'm ready. I was born ready! I was like, when he came out of the womb, he started doing freaking laps around the hospital. It was amazing. Emmy laughs at my bravado and we take off running. I keep a steady pace the whole time, breathing steadily. Thought I was gonna get an interruption there. I still feel dead at the end, but at least I don't gasp like a fish out of water now. Emmy is positively beaming after the run today. Nice job, Hisao, you're improving. You'll be half as fast as me in no time. This last line is delivered with a teasing grin that I've grown all too used to. Oh, how exciting. Emmy begins to run her sprints while I take a cool down lap. She's really pushing herself today. By the time I'm done with my lap, she's laying across one of the bleachers looking exhausted. Goodness, not pushing it a little too much today, are you? You did just have a cold, you'll recall. Emmy gives an annoyed snort and sits up. But I'm just trying to make up for lost time, that's all. I went twice as hard today, A good run always gets the kinks out, Clears the mind, too. Oh. Emmy nods vigorously. Yep, it's great outfit for that sort of thing. She does not explain further and I don't ask. I suspect I know the real reason she went so hard today. Being sick had nothing to do with it, something's bothering her. Maybe the nightmare, maybe something else. But it's not my place to pry. She'd tell me if she wanted me to know. I'm sure that comes in handy. You have no idea. The sincerity in her voice confirms my suspicion. The only problem is, even though I know she'd tell me if she wanted me to know, I still want to know. Something on your mind then? Amy doesn't seem surprised by my question. Instead, she shrugs. It's nothing worth getting worried about. She seems as if she's trying to convince herself as much as she's convincing me. Open my mouth to ask if yesterday is responsible for the current state of mind, but think better of it. Too much risk of her taking the question the wrong way. Besides, I'm not even sure myself what to think about yesterday. Really, I can only get about as far as how it felt to have Emmy sleeping next to me before my brain shuts down. Having her before me, covered in sweat and looking right at me, she's making it difficult to think. Yeah, I hear you. We'd better hurry to the nurse, we're running short on time. Aren't we always? Emmy laughs at this, a dry chuckle that seems most un-Emmy-like. Too true. For a brief moment she looks old, worn down by some old hurt. But just like yesterday, I can almost see her shouldering the burden and straightening up slightly. And then she's back to being Emmy again. Come on then, Hisao, race ya! With a sudden smile, she darts off. Hey, no fair! I take off after her, knowing I won't catch her, but not caring. Even if there's no chance of catching her, I'll still run after her. Emmy's waiting for me at the door as I arrive. You know that line, just like, with his like whole kind of like, clearly falling in love with Emmy, but being unsure of Emmy's feeling. That kind of like, that line could have taken on more than one meaning then, wouldn't it? Emmy's waiting for me at the door as I arrive. Well, look who's finally showed up. Yeah. Enjoy your victory while you can. Emmy grins as the nurse pokes his head out of the door. Well, there you are. Come on in, Hisao. In what has become a familiar routine by now, he checks my blood pressure on my heart rate. A bit fast today, isn't it? Yeah, I kind of raced Emmy here. The nurse laughs. That's never a good idea. He leans in to whisper to me in a conciliatory manner, or whatever pronunciation. I don't know if you've heard, but Emmy's a bit of a track star. I reel back in mock surprise. Really? She never mentioned it before. But two of us shall laugh. Ha 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 ha. And she knew okay today. Cold seemed to bother her. Why didn't you ask her? He rolls his eyes in exasperation. Of course I'm going to ask her too. But she'll tell me that she didn't have any problems regardless of whether or not she did. So I'm asking you because you're her friend and will probably tell me if she had trouble today. When he puts it that way, it makes a lot more sense. She seemed pretty good today, if a little more tired than usual. She was feeling better when I dropped by yesterday, so I'm not that surprised. The nurse nods, though I notice he tenses slightly when I mention yesterday's visit. Well, that's good to hear. I figured it was just a 24-hour thing. Emmy tends to recover quickly from colds and the like. Hey, speaking of Emmy, was she in a track up in, well, you know, a look of suspicion crosses his face. Why do you ask? Well, it's just that they seem kind of close, and I was just curious, you know? And I'd never ask her because that would be kind of embarrassing. So far, so good. Now to really sell it? Besides, I think they'd make a cute couple. The nurse laughs. Well, I don't suppose you're the first to think that. But I think I can say with some certainty that the two of them will never do anything like that. Certainty? Yep. Not I could tell you, of course. Confidentiality and all that. Yeah, right. You were just hold a secret over my head. That too. Right, get out of here. I'm a busy man, you know. I roll my eyes at his last statement and head out the door, motioning Tammy to go in. The whole time I'm trying to keep from doing a celebratory dance. The two of them will never do anything like that. That's precisely the sort of thing I wanted to hear. I'm half tempted to make some sort of a move on Amy right now, but I think the nurse would probably disapprove. True. Besides, I still don't know exactly how Amy feels about me. I mean, it's obvious that she cares about me as a friend, but something more than that, I can't be certain. You know, with the whole victory thing, I just, like, if this was animated, I'd imagine as soon as Amy goes in, he does that kind of victory gesture with his arms, like, yes! But doesn't actually shout out loud, but just kind of like, in that kind of way that you see in fiction, or even real life, probably, where people just like, yes! I don't know. Even so, I can't help but feel hopeful. I just need to figure out a good time to tell Amy exactly how I feel. That puzzle should keep me occupied for the rest of the day, at least. The rooftop is completely deserted. Oh, it's even devoid of music. Normally, I could count on Rin to be up here before me, but she's strangely absent. What if she decided to accompany Emmy to the cafeteria for once? It seems pretty unlikely, but it's all I can think of right now. Part of me wants to go look for Rin, but a far larger part of me is too pleased with the way the sun feels on my skin to care. I'll pick idly at my lunch while I wait for Emmy and Rin to show up. It does not take long for me to hear the sounds of someone coming up the stairs. I'll wait until the door begins to open before talking. Took you long enough. Keep me waiting for you, honestly. The two of you are... Huh? Well, that's odd. The only person standing in the doorway is Emmy, who looks mildly confused. What do you mean, huh? It's me, you know, Emmy, we run the mornings. She grins and I feel my heart jump slightly in my chest at the sight. Yeah, I know that, I'm just confused. Where's Rin? Emmy's grin is replaced by a rather guilty-looking expression. Yeah, about that. I kind of, sort of, gave her my cold. Oh dear. Am I at risk too? It makes sense after all. Amy and I were in close contact the other day. So what did she and Rin do that got her ill? Steady on, old lad, don't go down that road. I like some of that wording sometimes, like, steady on, lad. Rin's just probably got a worse immune system than me. Emmy seemed shocked by my comment, like she hadn't considered that before. I hope not. I'll feel terrible if you get ill because of me, Hisao. Oh man, I think I feel a fever coming on. Emmy looks horrified and then quickly shifts into a more angry expression. Hisao! You stop getting sick this instant! I won't have it! Impulsively, she seized me by the collar. Are you listening to me, Hisao's immune system? Get your ass in gear! The way of, like, voicing her then, it just sounded like that kind of typical kind of general, like, listen up, you little punks, okay? We're going out there, and I want you to stand straight, soldier! I don't know, ma'am. I give a smart salute. Duty noted, ma'am. Emmy steps back and nods satisfied. Good. You're not allowed to miss any of our morning runs after all. But you missed a morning run. Emmy crosses her arms and looks at me haughtily. Yes, but that's a special case. It was me and not you. That's not an explanation at all. Emmy looks flabbergasted. You're kidding, right? That explanation makes perfect sense. No, it doesn't. It's a blatant double standard. I don't see what that has to do with anything. Oh, fine. Emmy seems pleased by the victory. You know, this shows me that another kind of stereotype that has quite a bit of truth in it is like, they just have to get the last word in. It's just like, no. It doesn't matter if what you say is perfectly logical. I'm gonna win this argument. Whether it's logical or illogical, victory goes to me because what? Because. Anyway, is Rin gonna be okay? She's not terribly alright. Emmy shakes her head. Nope, she'll be fine. I got her some cold medicine that should help her. Although I probably should have made sure she didn't try to take them all at once. She's done it before, you know. Somehow I don't find this all that surprising. I doubt Rin is one to pay attention to maximum doses and such. That's not good. You should probably check in on her later then, just to make sure. Emmy shrugs. I'll stop by after practice. She'll be fine until then. I nod, figuring that line of conversation is over. The only problem is I don't know what else to talk about. So, you got any more track meets coming up? This is a terribly roundabout way of trying to see if she's free on the weekend. If she's free, then maybe I can ask her on a date or something. Well, assuming I can get myself to actually form the words. I don't know why I sing lines randomly like that. Emmy shakes her head.
Nah, not for another couple of weeks, I think. The season's winding down.
Oh yeah, I came in right in the middle of things, didn't I? There's some exams are coming up soon. I should probably look into that. What do you do on weekends if there's not a meet? One eyebrow goes up and Emmy gets a teasing look on her face.
You're awfully inquisitive today, aren't you?
I shrug and hope it looks casual. Just making conversation. I don't know what it's like to be a track star after all.
Flattery. She waves a hand idly. I'm not actually that good, you know. You just so happen to see me on a good day is all.
You liar.
Yeah, but humility is a sign of a good athlete. At least that's what my dad used to say.
She shrugs and tries unsuccessfully to hide the rather troubled expression her face has taken on. Hey, what's up? You seem bothered by something. Emmy starts to deny and then sighs in defeat. I wonder if she's too tired from being sick to get herself to deny it like usual, or if she actually just trusts me enough at this point to open up.
Well, you remember last night.
Do I ever? I settle for nodding, however.
That's not the first time that's happened to me. Actually, I get them kind of...
She pauses as if it's suddenly occurred to her what she's doing. It's almost like she's breaking some sort of personal rule here. But she starts up again, choosing her words carefully.
Well, not often, but on occasion. It's just been one of those weeks where that's what happens.
A sigh escapes her and she looks terribly frustrated. I reach over and give her a hug, which is, unlike last time, doesn't seem to shock her. Instead, she seems to relax as my arms wrap around her. We stay that way for a while. Hey, you know, I was serious last night. You really can't talk to me if stuff like this is bothering you. It's always difficult to do this sort of thing, solo, you know. Abby smiles and breaks the embrace, but stays leaning on my shoulder.
Thanks, Hisao. I'll be fine, I think.
I can already see her reassembling herself, getting ready to bottle it all up again. Guess that topic's closed now. So, hey, give any more thought to that career survey?
Can't say I have. I don't tend to plan very far ahead, you know. Although I suppose I could at least start looking into college, huh?
I shrug. I suppose, unless you were serious about the pirate thing. Last I checked, Pirates didn't have much need for universities. Unless there's like a pirate university out there somewhere. Emmy giggles and starts to look a little like her old self, but there's a new element to her expression. Impish, that's how I describe it. Amy looks impish, looking up at me with her head nestled into my shoulder.
Would you come with me if I ran off to be a pirate?
Of course I would. Who in their right mind would pass up the opportunity to be pirates with you?
Well, when you put it that way, I'm not sure.
She giggles again. I notice that my heart seems to have sped up. It's probably due to Emmy's proximity to me. That hint of strawberries again. I can't help but grin as I gaze down at her. She's happy again.
Hey, Sam. If you're gonna kiss me, you should probably do it soon. I think the lunch bell's about to ring.
My foot grind to a sudden halt. I'm pretty sure my mouth is hanging open in shock. All I can manage is a strangled This amuses Emmy even more. No, that sounded horrifying. Just by what the fuck?
You were thinking about it, weren't you?
She sits up, bringing her face level with mine.
I'd probably enjoy it, you know. You're a really... well...
She briefly composed herself, looking like she's about to say something important.
If you hadn't figured it out by now, I think I've developed a bit of a crush on you.
It's just... Wow, at least she's like to the point.
You're gonna have to do something about that.
This time her grin short-circuits several important thought processes. At some point I turned towards her, and at another point her arms moved to around my neck. And yet another, my arms wrapped around her waist. I'll be damned if I could tell precisely when that happened, because at the moment there's only a voice in the back of my head yelling at me to kiss her. and like this mental image of like some giant figure with giant arms pushing the two of them together and going KISS! I look into Emmy's eyes. There it is. The thing I saw yesterday on the bed, it's there again. It suddenly struck me that she's worried I'll reject her. What a silly worry for her to have. Violin, or maybe it's a cello, or violin. I'm not sure, I'm crap at recognizing. Her lips taste faintly of strawberries. She leans into the kiss and her arms tighten around the back of my head, making sure that I don't pull away. Not that there was any danger of that. There's a churning feeling in my guts. The world falls away. It's just me and her on this bench. My arms tighten, drawing her waist closer, entranced by the feel of her. Entranced, not... Don't screw up the scene, man. I already have, but whatever. I inhale her scent, my mind trying desperately to memorize everything about her, how she tastes, how she smells, how she feels. The ringing of the bell snaps us both back to reality and we break the kiss. Emmy's cheeks are slightly flushed and she seems to be catching her breath. In defense, so am I. We stand there for a few moments, trying to wrap our heads around what we've just done. Emmy is the first to break the silence.
So, wanna grab dinner after I'm done with practice?
What a coincidence. I was about to ask the same thing. Well, actually, I suppose it was going to be some kind of proper date on a weekend or something, but the thought was there, I think. Emmy gives me a playful shove.
Yeah, right. You were still in shock from how incredibly awesome I am at kissing.
We begin to head down the stairs back to our respective classrooms. Hey, I don't see you talking immediately afterwards, either.
That I didn't. See you after practice, Hisao.
She leans in quickly and gives me a quick kiss in the middle of the hallway, sending me into another brief state of mental freefall. As I head into my classroom, a giggling Misha greets me.
Why, Hee-chan, how romantic you! Did you confess on the rooftop, did you?
Actually, I think it was the other way around. This sends Misha into a fresh fit of laughter.
Young love is so unpredictable, isn't it?
This being Misha, I suppose I should have expected her to tease me over this. Yes. Before I can really respond, Mitters enter the room and Misha skips off to her seat, giggling all the while. I suspect that I'll get a lot of that sort of conversation now, especially seeing as how Emmy kissed me right in the middle of the hall. But somehow I don't care about that. The first time since arriving here, my heart feels light. The most shocking thing was... Oh, wait. Ah, isn't that adorable? Act 3 perspective! Yeah, there are 3 acts. 2 acts for each character, and then Act 1 is just, the common route thing leading to the routes. But as I was saying, it's kind of surprising, really. A lot of times in visual novels, when they have, the kiss scene, it's either in, a kind of perspective way where, you don't actually see them kiss, you just see them go in for it, the kiss, and by that I mean, the protagonist isn't even on screen, that kind of point of view one. Or there's an awkward kind of camera angle where it just kind of looks awkward the way they kiss or they're about to kiss. But in this, they actually did it proper, showed it on screen, and it looked perfectly fine. It didn't look awkward, and yeah, just it boggles my mind how this visual novel is like freeware essentially, yet it's got so much well done that sometimes, you just don't see that kind of quality in even, proper full-time visual novels that actually, have a price and aren't freeware, Just, well done. My head's in a spin all through Mitter's class. I'm going to have dinner with Emmy. Who wants to be my girlfriend, no less. A date. And then she kissed me. That kiss, I keep going back to it, playing it over in my mind again and again. Everything about that moment felt so right. My mind drifts off, lost in thoughts of Emmy. Nakai! Hello? It seems like I've drifted a bit too far. What? Egad, you've contracted some kind of amnesia. Someone get the nurse. The class chuckles at Muto's antics. Sorry, sir. Won't happen again and all that, right? Exactly. Matter brightens considerably. Well, lovely to hear. I'd hate to have my star pupil slacking off after all. I've been doing well, but I hardly qualify as a star pupil, I think. I'm fairly certain that this class is the sort that everyone does well in. It's just memorizing formulas. True to my word, I managed to pay attention for the rest of the class. Okay, may I have a word with you? I wonder if I'm in trouble forever. Sure. Am I in trouble? Mido looks generally confused for a moment. Beg your pardon? He tilts his head to one side and thinks for a moment. Oh, that! No, you're not in any sort of trouble. There's just a question I want to ask you. What's that? What's the question? It's a cliffhanger-like question. God damn it, why do I do that? Well, I don't always do that. You know what, and the irony is, like, whenever I do a cliffhanger, I'm just like, I'm just like, anytime something else that's a cliffhanger, I'm just like, damn it. I mean, if it's like, say, a video series or something, and like, the next part is uploaded or something like another person's LP where they also do a cliffhanger, but their LP is already completed, so it's like, the cliffhanger loses the whole, you know, point of being a cliffhanger if the next part is already there. But when it's not, I get the same level of annoyance I must bring to any of you viewers. It's like, damn it, you left it on a cliffhanger. But I'm rambling here, so I'll see you next time, viewers. See you next time.